How's it going? Dustin here from Huckleberry Rock Fishing Outdoors. What's up? I wanted to do something a little differently today than I normally do in my videos. Sorry that I'm not outside right now doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. As you heard me say before, I don't really like when people beat around the bush whenever they make a YouTube video. I prefer they just get down to business rather than beating around the bush and talking a bunch of nonsense that doesn't mean a bunch of nothing. So, that's just my 2 cents. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, what I have here in front of me, a buck knife 110. And this 110 here is something that I got for Christmas. Like, was it 2017? I got this for Christmas like 3 years ago. That was for Christmas. I don't carry this one near as much as I used to when I'm not working. I guess I probably should. It's one of my nicer 110 models. My other really nice one's up there in the case that I will never use again or touch again. I've also got a really nice 119 that's in the other room that I want to touch again. So those are in antiquities that I kind of put to the side. Let's get on to this. This knife here is really good for a lot of things. You can skin a deer with it, skin an elk with it. You can skin your general animal with it, regardless of what it is, regardless of what species it is. Those are just some examples I give. This knife here is very sharp. For those of you that may not know, or you might know, I do work at Buck Knives. There's a laundry list of things I'm not allowed to say, which includes knife release dates, which I wouldn't know anyway, but even if I did, I'm not allowed to say it. Basically, all I'm allowed to say is I work at Buck Knives, so we'll leave it at that. Let's move on from that. This thing here is really cool. I get to work with this knife at my job every single day. I work Monday through Friday at Buck Knives, and I get to work with this knife a lot. So, I'm very familiar with my 110. Usually, if I need to carry something that I'm not using as a work knife, I usually have this one on me. I just always forget to put it on whenever I get off work and go do other things. I always forget to put this on, but I should start carrying this more. This thing, it's kind of heavy here on the handles a little bit, which is good. I like that. Kind of makes for a nice little paperweight if you're trying to hold your paper down that you're writing on. Blade's very sharp, even when not sharpened. This blade's very sharp on that point up here. The main thing you want to do, especially with a 110, you want to keep your fingers away from the business end of that point. That's the one thing that you want to do, just as a point of knife safety. This one I got in, like I said, 2014, I believe, for Christmas, and it's been one of the best knives I have ever owned. It's got a nice little pouch that goes on my belt that it fits in. Put it the right way and snap it shut. The other one I have here is my 119. This here is my 119 Brahma. Got a nice little paracord knot. Got this little clip that holds it in this molly case. I love that handle. This thing is really good to have, especially if I'm out like at Carver Farms, like it will be soon, picking pumpkins, cutting them down. Though generally I use my main 119 for that kind of stuff. I say my main 119 because it's always in the rodeo. That's my truck knife. Those are two knives that I like to use. This 119 and the other 119. I wish I had it in here, but I do not. I'll leave that out there. One thing I do need to do is get another case for it. I made the mistake of leaving it out in the sun and it melted. So, that's something you really don't want to do with your knives. Knife care is very, very incredibly important. What I recommend doing, especially on these 110s, you get some dirt or smudges in here. Use a little bit of alcohol, not too much, just a little bit of alcohol. Clean it off. I clean all my knives with alcohol. Works really well. Good little knife care tip. Occasionally on some of your knives you'll need to spray some WD-40 or something else if it gets stiff. But I have never had that one moment's problem on my 110. Out of any knife that I own, this has been one of the most reliable I've ever had. So 110 is a knife I highly recommend to anyone. As soon as I get my knives, I generally try to have mine engraved with my name on it. And it's just kind of a point of pride that I enjoy having this knife. As far as my 119 here is concerned, my 119 Brahma here, I love using this knife. I'm probably going to take this one with me this year to cut pumpkins with instead of my main 119, just because I want to use this one this particular year. So if you're looking for like a small knife to hunt with, and by the way, hunting, smaller the better. You don't want to use those big, huge knives. I know people think bigger is better, but not necessarily when it comes to knives. Well, that's all I have today about those two particular knives. Hopefully this wasn't boring and you enjoyed what I had to say. Have a great day. Fish on.